let's begin lecture 6 of radioactivity from nuclear physics. So today we are going to study what is law of successive disintegration. So when a radioactive nucleus disintegrates with either the emission of alpha, beta or gamma rays, the original atom, it is called as parent atom, and it changes into a new atom which is called as daughter atom. If a daughter atom is found to be unstable, it further disintegrates to form another new radioactive atom which may be stable or which may be unstable. So again, the new atom which has formed, it will also undergo disintegration by either alpha or beta or gamma emission, and again another daughter element will be formed. So this chain of disintegration, it will continue unless and until you get a stable element. So this chain of disintegration to form number of daughter elements till the end you get a stable element, that is called as law of successive disintegration. So now let us consider that there is a parent atom A, it disintegrates to B, and B, it is also radioactive in nature, so that disintegrates to another atom C which is stable. So suppose initially only A is there, let the initial number of atoms in A, suppose it is N0, initial number of atoms in B will be 0 and C will also be 0, because we know that B and C are not formed at T equals to 0. Only we have A. After some time, suppose A disintegrates to B and B also disintegrates to C. So at time T, let the number of atoms in A be N1, in B be N2, and in C be N3. Suppose decay constant of A and B, it is lambda 1 and lambda 2, and C will not have a decay constant, it will be 0 because it is a stable element. Okay, so now let's solve the derivation for this. So we have a element A which has a disintegration constant lambda 1. It gives another element B which is also unstable, and it has a decay constant lambda 2, and it gives element C, and this C which is formed, it is stable element. Okay, so now let us find out dN by dt. We know that dN by dt, it is rate of production minus rate of decay. Okay, so let us find it out for atom A. So dN1 upon dt, it is equals to rate of production. A was not produced, it was present initially, so there was no production of A. So rate of production for A, it will be 0, and rate of decay, we know that rate of decay, it is given by lambda 1 N1. So dN2 upon dt, we know that dN2 upon dt, it is nothing but for the element B. So B starts, rate of production of B, it is nothing but equals to rate of decay of A. The जितना A decay होगा उतना B produce होगा. So we will have lambda 1 N1 minus rate of decay of B, that is lambda 2 N2. And so this is first equation, this is second equation, and now we will have dN3 upon dt, which is equals to rate of production of C, it is nothing but rate of decay of B. So that is how we can write lambda to N2, and as it is a stable element, C which is formed, it is a stable element, so there will not be any decay. So rate of decay for C, it will be 0. So we have these three equations. Now we will solve this first equation. Equation 1, what it is? dN1 upon dt, it is equals to minus lambda 1 N1. So if we will solve this, we will separate the variables. We will get dN1 upon N1 equals to lambda 1 dt, integrating both sides. So we will get log of N1, integration of dx by x, it is log x. So integration of dN1 upon N1, we can write log N1, it is equals to minus lambda 1 into t plus some constant of integration c. So we have to find out the value of constant of integration. So we will substitute initial condition. At t equals to 0, n equals to n0, or n1 equals to n0. So we can write log of, instead of n1, we will write down n0. It is equals to minus lambda 1 into t. T is 0. So this value will come equals to 0 plus c. That means we got log n0. C equals to log n0. So if we will back substitute this value in this equation, we will get log n1. It is equals to minus lambda 1 t plus log n0. Collecting log terms on one side. So we will get log n1 minus log n0. It is equals to minus lambda 1 into t. Log a upon log a minus log b. It is log a upon b. So I will get 9 log of n1 upon n0 equals to minus lambda 1 t. Or taking antilog of both sides. So I will get n1 upon n0. It is equals to e raised to minus lambda 1 t. Or I can write n1. It is equals to n0 e raised to minus lambda 1 t. This is the solution for equation 1. Suppose this is equation 4. Now consider the equation 2. From equation 2, what we will get? dn2 upon dt. It is equals to lambda 1 n1 minus lambda 2 n2. Right? So I will shift this term over here. So I will get dn2 upon dt plus lambda 2 n2. It is equals to lambda 1 n1. And n1, it is equals to n0 e raised to minus lambda 1 t. So I will substitute that value of n1. So I will get lambda 1 n0 e raised to minus lambda 1 t. So basically what I am getting, dn2 upon dt plus lambda 2 n2. It is equals to lambda 1 n0 e raised to minus lambda 1 into t. I am getting this value of. Now here, this is a first order differential equation. And if you have to find out the solution of this equation, what you will have to do? You will have to first find out the, this is of the form dy by dx plus py equals to q. So what we have to do here, we will have to find out integrating factor. Integrating factor, it is e integration of p dx. So e integration of p. P का value क्या है? Here p is nothing but lambda 2. And instead of x, we have here t. So lambda 2 dt. So we will get e raised to lambda 2 into t. That is what the integrating factor is. And how we find out the solution of this equation? Suppose this is equation 5. Equation 5 का solution क्या आएगा? Y into integrating factor. It is equals to q. Integration of q into integrating factor dx plus c. So what will be our solution? Y. What is y in our case? In our case, y, it is nothing but n2. So n2 into integrating factor, that is e raised to lambda 2t. It is equals to integration of q. Q क्या है? Q, it is lambda 1 n0 e raised to minus lambda 1 into t. Integrating factor is e raised to lambda 2t dt. Instead of x, we have t. dt plus c. So what we will get? n2 e raised to lambda 2t. It is equals to integration of lambda 1 n0 e raised to, I can write this as lambda 2 minus lambda 1 into t. E raised to a, e raised to b, that is e raised to a plus b dt plus c. So n2 e raised to lambda 2t, lambda 1 is constant, n0 is constant. Integration of e raised to lambda 2 minus lambda 1 into t upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1 plus c. So what we are getting here? Now what we can do, we can divide by e raised to lambda 2t to both the sides. So we will get n2, it is equals to lambda 1 n0 upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1 and e raised to lambda 2 minus lambda 1 minus this lambda 2 because we are dividing. So we will get e raised to minus lambda 1 into t plus c को भी divide करेंगे. So I will get c e raised to minus lambda 2t. What we have done in this step is we have divided throughout by e raised to lambda 2t. So I got this value of n2. Suppose this is equation. Now we have to find out this constant also. Na? So for that again we will substitute the initial condition. So at t equals to 0, we have n2 equals to 0. So substitute this initial condition. So n2 equals to 0. It is equals to lambda 1 n0 upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1 e raised to 0, it is 1, plus c e raised to 0, it is 1. So we will get c equals to this much. That means c equals to minus lambda 1 n0 upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1. This is the value of c. Now we will substitute this value of c to this equation here and we will take common. So finally we will get n2, it is equals to lambda 1 n0 e raised to minus lambda 1 t upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1 plus c. Value of c is minus lambda 1 n0 upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1 into e raised to minus lambda 2t. So if I take common this term, so I will get n2, it is equals to lambda 1 n0 upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1, because it is common on in both the terms, and inside the bracket I will get e raised to minus lambda 1t plus e raised to minus lambda 2t. Sorry, there is a minus sign now, so I can take minus of e raised to minus lambda 2t. So suppose this is equation 6. Okay. So we have equation 1, 2 and 3. So in the next step what we will do, adding equations 1, 2, 3. Whatever equations 1, 2, 3 were there, you just add them. So what you will get, dn1 upon dt plus dn2 upon dt plus dn3 upon dt, it is equals to, you will get 0. Do this and you will get 0. So that means d by dt, I can take n1 plus n2 plus n3, it is equals to 0, or I can write n1 plus n2 plus n3. Derivative is 0, that means this term is constant. So n1 plus n2 plus n3, it is equals to constant. Now we will substitute the initial condition. At t equals to 0, n1 equals to n0. Initially only atom A was there, B and C were not there. So n1 equals to n0. Element A was only there, B and C were not formed. So n1 equals to n0 and we will not have n2 is 0, n3 is 0. So what we can write, n1 equals to n0, n0, B and C are 0. So we will not have, n2 and n3 will be 0. So we will just have n1 equals to n0, it is equals to constant. If I substitute here, so I will get n1 plus n2 plus n3, it is equals to n0. This is the equation which I will get. So from this, what we can get, n3, it is equals to n0 minus n1 minus n2. n0 as it is, n1 we have calculated, n1 equals to n0 e raised to minus lambda 1t, and n2 also we have calculated here, lambda 1 n0. So we will substitute that value only. So what I will get, minus lambda 1 n0 upon lambda 2 minus lambda 1 inside the bracket e raised to minus lambda 1t minus e raised to minus lambda 2t. So this is the expression which will give the number of atoms in the stable element C. So we have derived the equation.